If you're in crypto and you use crypto exchanges and you've deposited money into those exchanges and you still have money in there, they might be at risk. Nobody's talking about this, but both Silvergate and Signature Bank, the crypto banks that banks crypto, are at serious risk from my point of view. And I really feel like if they fall, all your money related to those crypto exchanges that you use are gonna be gone. And I'm gonna explain why in this video. Welcome to my channel. My name is Donald, and if you don't want to lose your money, then you really need to watch through this entire video to the end. So none of the videos that I make are financial advice, but by the time you're watching this video, I would have all my money already withdrawn from Coinbase. I had 7,500 in there to buy Bitcoin when it dips. Bitcoin doesn't look to be dipping, so I just pulled it out because of what I read about Signature, which is what you're also going to learn in this video. I see some huge counterparty risks, and to be better safe than sorry, I withdrew all my money from all exchanges. There's nothing on there anymore. When I need to trade, I'll put some money in there and buy what I need and get them out of those exchanges. That's how I'm operating right now. But if you first thought that leaving fiat like US dollars, euros, Canadian dollars is safe with the exchanges, I thought that too, until I read what I read and worked out the logical processes in my head. And now I come to a different conclusion. And I'm gonna walk through all of that in this video. But the first thing we have to talk about is that Silvergate is being scooped up. They've lost a bunch of money, we knew that. But asset manager Street State has declared that they scooped up a 9.32 stake on Silvergate. BlackRock also reported that they increased their stake in Silvergate from 5.9% to 7.2%. In this case, what I see is that they actually believe in Silvergate, that's option one, or two, they're manipulating people into thinking that these firms are good so that they'll rug retail. And guys, what we have to remember is Silvergate's backstory. Remember that their recent quarterly report reported that they shed $8.1 billion and they were forced to sell debt instruments early, resulting in a loss of $718 million. And it was also discovered, this is what they did, it was also discovered that they allowed Alameda Research to receive customer deposits from FTX. So if a customer was depositing into FTX, where that money actually went was to Alameda Research. They're two separate companies. It's like you going to deposit money into Wells Fargo and that money ending up in Bank of America. So right now, Silvergate is facing a class action lawsuit from customers of FTX alleging that the bank was complicit in fraud, which, how I see it, yeah, they are. So we talked about Silvergate, but most of you might not know who Signature Bank is. So Signature Bank is like Silvergate. They're also a crypto bank and they bank customer deposits. When you transfer in a US dollar in return for a USDC, USD coin, the people taking that US dollar is actually Signature Bank. So they not only do this with Circle and USDC, but they also do this with all the other major crypto firms. Signature's chairman and founder also stated that Signature facilitates payments and that their vetting process is so substantial that it requires certain financial wherewithal and to be a solid citizen. Now, let's be frank, their vetting process is not legit at all because they have customers like FTX and Alameda and Binance, and we all know that those guys are hiding some dirt. In addition to them, it looks like they also bank Justin Sun, who we know doesn't have the strongest character out there. So here's the sign that Silvergate and Signature are really playing central bank here, and you really have to understand how the banking system kind of works for us to really understand what's happening. So both Silvergate and Signature, they both have their own private blockchains. Silvergate has the Silvergate Exchange Network, which is the SEN, and Signature has the SBNY Signet. They both offer dollar transfer services 24/7, 365 days of the year, and they both have done hundreds of billions of dollars in transactions each quarter. So here's how this compares to our traditional monetary system. The Fed creates reserves, which is not cash but base electronic money. Now, these reserves are not used by people like you and I. The banks hold these reserves and they can use these reserves to lend to other banks. It's called interbank settlement. So in essence, they both lend and settle with these reserves that are created by the Fed. So what Silvergate and Signature is doing here is it looks like they're acting as the central bank, where they're taking customer deposits and allowing their customers like FTX and Binance to settle with one another. And we'll talk more about this later because we didn't even get to the sketchy part yet. So remember, when it comes to picking the right relationships with people, don't be the backup, don't take the leftovers, but that is exactly what Signature Bank did with Silvergate's leftovers. Because between December 2020 and May 2021, what actually happened was that Binance was using Silvergate to to process USD transactions for customers. But regulatory pressures forced Silvergate to break up with Binance. And in response, it looks like Signature came in and replaced what Silvergate was to Binance. So basically, Signature was the backup simp that Binance chose to work with after they lost a relationship with Silvergate. And Signature wasn't even working with Binance directly. They were working for their front company, Key Vision Development Limited. So it's all very sketchy. So Vita Research actually did a lot of research into the client list for Signet, and they found that a lot of the customers for Signature had no information available at all. And they found that even the most basic principles of KYC, know your customer, was ignored when Signet was onboarding customers. And I'm not going to go through this entire document with you, but Binance, FTX, and Alameda, Genesis, they were all using Signet. And there's only one of them that really hasn't fallen yet, and that is Binance, but we'll see what will happen. And guys, this is me calling some of you out because I know some of you has been putting it off. And if you have been putting off moving your assets from any of these centralized exchanges onto your ledger, then you have to do it now. If you're not going to do it now, you're never going to do it, and you're putting yourself at risk. And you get the ledger and the Apricorn in the pinned comment below. The ledger is for cold storage, and the Apricorn is for your seed phrases, a military grade encrypted USB that requires a pin to access the files inside. Make sure to get those in the pinned comment below. If you don't know how to use a ledger, check out the video I made here that goes through how to use a ledger. So guys, remember that Signature banks a lot of the crypto companies that you use, Kraken, Coinbase, USDC Circle, and they are looking to shrink the deposits tied to crypto by $8 billion to $10 billion. So basically what they have right now is that they have $103 billion in deposits, and 23.5% of that came from crypto. And as a bank, you're not just going to take deposits. When you take those deposits, you're definitely going to loan them out, right, to earn yield. But in crypto winter, when people want their deposits back and they have locked up their money in something like maybe real estate, it's going to be very hard to give people their money back. So Signature is aiming to reduce that 23.5% of crypto deposits to somewhere around 20% or maybe even 15% or lower. So here's my whole entire opinion on this. Now remember that I am not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor, so please do your own research with regard to this. But I just wanted to do this video because it feels like this is a really big problem and nobody is talking about it. I don't want to risk it with Signature or Silvergate. But the recent moves that Signature have been making, while they also look right, they also look a little bit squeamish, like they don't have any money or something. Like we already see it with Silvergate and their $700 million loss, but is that loss also in Signature and they just haven't reported yet? We don't know that. And also remember that if you're an American and you use US crypto exchanges, that your US dollar with these crypto exchanges are not FDIC insured because the exchanges are not FDIC members. So it really makes sense to me that if these banks go under, you are not getting your money back. And if you want to know more about that, I'm probably going to make another video on that. So please, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Check out our other videos on cryptocurrencies and passive income. And remember guys, continue working, continue building, continue inspiring. I'll see you next time.